problem that deals with a linear function. So we are given that the height of a tree is a linear function of the time in years it has been alive. We know that the tree grows at an average rate of 2.1 feet per year, so that's a slope there, right? That's how many feet per year it's going up. And we also know that at 5 years old, the tree was 25.4 feet tall. So how tall will the tree be when it is 11 years old? Okay, the most straightforward way to set this one up, in my opinion, is that since we know how tall it is at 5 years old, the 5-year-old tree is 25.4, and we know what we're looking for. We're looking for how tall it is in 11 years, when it's 11 years old. Think about how much time will pass from 5 years to 11 years. So if you think about that for a second, can you see why that would be plus 6 years worth of time? Because 11 minus 5 is 6. So what's going to happen to the growth of the tree over that time? Well, according to the problem, we know that it grows 2.1 feet per year. So if it's growing for 6 many years, if you've changed 6 years in time, that means that you will have changed 6 times 2.1 many feet, because each year, it grows by 2.1 many feet. 6 times 2.1, by the way, would be 12.2 feet. So if it used to be 25.4 feet, and then over the next 6 years we end up adding on another 12.2 feet, then that would mean at the end of the 11th year, your tree would be 37.6 feet tall. So that's how you can do these application problems, by understanding and using critical thinking instead of the heavier algebra, setting up algebraic equations. So why don't you pause the video and see if you can do one on your own here. Try this one. Suppose that the cost to create books is a linear function of the number of books that are to be created. Further, suppose that it costs $13.20 to create a book, and that it costs $1,038 to make 40 books. How much would it cost to create 80 books? Now, there's a temptation here to just double up the cost for 40 books, but remember, when you're creating books, not only do you need the paper and the ink, but you also need the machine, and you don't have to buy the machine each time. In economics, we call these fixed costs and variable costs. So let's just take the information we're given and try to figure out what's going on. So we do know that it costs $13.20 to create a book. So that's the amount of cost associated with one single book. So that's going to be the slope piece of information from this particular word problem. Then we also know that for 40 books, we were given a cost of $1,038. And the problem's asking us for how much it would cost to make 80 books. So we're going to jump up to 80 books. So ask yourself, how many additional books are we adding on to go from 40 to 80? And hopefully you get there plus 40 books. And so then ask yourself, how much money additionally is that going to entail? Well, that's going to entail an extra $13.20 per book, and there are 40 many more books. So what is 13.2 times 40? That means we're going to have to add on an extra $528, and that's going to be our total cost. So now how much do we have to begin with? $1,038. That was for the 40 books. How much additional do we need to add on? $528 additional dollars is going to be added on. Total cost would be 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 5, and then 1. So the answer to this problem would be $1,566.